Opened in 1983, Horizons wasn't just another theme park attraction. It was a hopeful glimpse into what could be if humanity embraced innovation, sustainability, and the occasional robot butler. It took guests on a breathtaking journey through space, sea, and desert, painting a picture of a world where humanity actually got its act together. But then, Horizons was unceremoniously scrapped, bulldozed, and replaced with something that couldn't have been more different. How did one of Disney's most beloved attractions go from an inspiring masterpiece to a pile of rubble? Was it corporate greed, bad luck, or simply the unstoppable march of time? Buckle up, because this is the rise and fall of Horizons, the ride that showed us the future before becoming a relic of the past. To understand Horizons, we first need to understand its parent, Epcot. Originally conceived by Walt Disney as the living city of the future, Epcot was rebranded after his death into a theme park about progress and innovation. It opened in 1982 as a place where optimism wasn't just encouraged, it was mandatory. Horizons, which debuted in 1983, was the spiritual successor to Walt Disney's original vision. It was the only ride in Epcot's future world that truly encapsulated the message of progress, a world where humans had harnessed technology to create a sustainable and thriving society. Think the Jetsons, but without the dystopian undertones. Created by Disney Imagineering with a sponsorship from General Electric, Horizons was the ultimate love letter to futurism. The ride synthesized themes from other pavilions, space exploration, underwater cities, desert farming, into a singular cohesive narrative. It wasn't just about cool sci-fi tech, it was about people. The future, according to Horizons, wasn't cold and mechanical, it was warm, bright, and full of adventure. Horizons wasn't just a ride, it was an experience. You didn't just sit in a vehicle, you embarked on a mission. The attraction's OmniMax screens, basically IMAX before IMAX was cool, immersed guests in a vision of the future that was both awe-inspiring and weirdly plausible. The journey began with a look back at the past visions of the future. You saw flying machines that never quite took off and robotic servants who looked like they belonged in a 1950s B-movie. It was a humorous and humbling reminder that predicting the future is a risky business. Then came the real meat of the ride, a deep dive into the future where humans had colonized space, built cities under the sea, and tamed the desert with cutting-edge agricultural tech. Families lived happily in zero gravity, teenagers had casual video calls with their parents, an actual prediction that came true, and everything was bathed in the golden glow of technological optimism. And then came the best part. The choose-your-own-adventure finale. Long before video games let you pick endings, Horizons let guests decide how they wanted to return to Earth. A high-speed shuttle through space, a turbulent trip through an underwater city, or a hovercraft ride over a futuristic farm. It was revolutionary, interactive, and made each time you ride it a potentially different experience. Despite being one of the most beloved attractions in Epcot, Horizons had an expiration date. General Electric pulled its sponsorship in 1993, leaving Disney to foot the bill for maintenance. Without corporate backing, Horizons became less of a priority. Then came the rumors. The building was structurally unstable, the ride system was aging, and, worst of all, Epcot was shifting away from its original theme of progress and towards something more marketable. By 1999, the writing was on the wall. Horizons closed permanently, and Disney wasted no time in demolishing it. The grand vision of the future? Flattened. The utopian dream? Scrapped. And what rose from the ashes? Mission Space. An attraction that swapped Horizons' optimistic future for a nausea-inducing centrifuge simulator. If Horizons was a hopeful letter to humanity's bright future, Mission Space was a swift kick to the stomach. Literally. Opened in 2003, the ride replaced Horizons with a high-intensity astronaut training simulator, giving guests the chance to experience the rigors of space travel firsthand. While its intense spinning motion divided opinions, it delivered a unique, high-tech simulation that aligned with Epcot's evolving focus on experimental attractions. Mission Space wasn't just a different ride, it was a different philosophy. Where Horizons imagined a future filled with adventure and connection, Mission Space imagined a future where you might vomit. It was more focused on thrills than storytelling, more intense than inspiring, and while some enjoy the G-Force experience, many still argue that Epcot lost something special when Horizons was destroyed. Horizons wasn't just a theme park ride. It was a beacon of optimism. It reminded us that the future wasn't something to fear, but something to build. It was a testament to human ingenuity, a ride that dared to dream of a world where we didn't just survive, but thrived. Today, Horizons lives on in the heart of its fans, in online forums, in documentaries, and in the occasional reference snuck into Disney attractions. Its spirit endures in those who believe that the future is still worth dreaming about. Because if Horizons taught us anything, it's that the best way to predict the future is to create it.